Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
What is going on? Welcome to Gambling with Gold. My name is Jason Gold. This is Stephie Smallls. We are here to break down the Thanksgiving Day slate of NFL games and make some money to pay for these turkeys. Let's get right into it. Steph, how you doing on this Tuesday? You ready for Thanksgiving?
I'm excited. There's no teams on bye. We got a lot of football, 3 games on the Thanksgiving slate. They're interesting matchups actually too. So I'm excited to break them down.
All right, let's get into the first one, which is the Buffalo Bills -10 at the Detroit Lions. Seems like a home game for the Bills pretty much at this point, having played there last week. Total is set at 54. Some interesting nuggets that I came across while digging through some research on Thanksgiving. If there's one day during the year that you want to be on the side of the public, this is it. The public absolutely smashes and makes money on Thanksgiving. Favorites in Thanksgiving, I believe this is since 2043-8 straight up, 35-16 against the spread. Road favorites on Thanksgiving, 23-1 straight up, 19-5 against the spread. The public wins on Thanksgiving if they have 60% of the tickets or more. 20-7 against the spread. Seems to me that this is a Buffalo smash spot at -10 in Detroit for the second week in a row. What is your opinion on this game?
Yeah, it's time for us to humble Detroit a little bit here, and I think that they're going to get a fat piece of humble pie. I didn't even mean to do that dad joke there, but that works. I think it's time for them we got to bring it down a notch. Like, I am happy for Lions fans. I said this last week. Excited that they're winning games. They're winning a little bit too much, and it's time to revert back to the fact that you are the Detroit Lions. This is the Buffalo Bills. Detroit has given up the most yards and the most points per game than any other team. Bills are on the other side of that, sitting at second in the league. So they are going to just absolutely deal, I think, against the Lions. Will the Lions keep this fun? Probably. Like, I think we're going to get a good game, which is cool. But I don't think that they stand a chance against the Bills.
The home dogs on Thanksgiving is almost as good as road favorites on Thanksgiving. Home dogs on Thanksgiving, 2-26 straight up, 3-18. Detroit is 3-18 against the spread on Thanksgiving over the last 21 years. So to me, this just seems like a smash spot for Buffalo. I get the argument. +10's a lot of points, especially for a team that can backdoor cover like the Detroit Lions at home. But it seems like Bills may just roll in this spot. And the Bills indoors are a different creature. It's a different monster. You saw it last week. All the distractions that they had having to fly to Detroit to take on the Cleveland Browns, they still put up 31 with no problem and covered the spread. This is a different team, different animal at home. Also, give me that Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown. Lock that one in again. I guarantee that he's going to get in the end zone. The over-under, interesting at 54. Road unders for Buffalo this season are 5-0. They do not consider last week to be a road game because it was a neutral game. I don't know. Buffalo, like I just mentioned, Buffalo indoors, man, that could be crazy. Maybe Detroit doesn't put up a lot of points, and this is just a smash for Buffalo. What do you think about that total of 54?
I lean the under on the total. I think that, I don't know. It's interesting. Do they just play enough? Is this going to be one of those situations? Because we've seen this number be this high for the Bills, and they almost get all the points on their own. That was a little bit earlier on in the season. So I'm skeptical to take the under when it's a Bills game. And with the Lions just ultimately playing better. But again, these are two different animals meeting each other. It's not the same. So 54 is high. If that were to come down a little bit, you might be able to get me to go on the over. But I'm more comfortable with that, the spread than looking at the total here.
All right, one final point that I came across. I'm going to call this the Thanksgiving double down. All right? Okay. If a team is winning in the first half, you want to bet on them against the spread in the second half. That same team, they are 30-16 in the second halves on Thanksgiving. The reason being, if you're winning on Thanksgiving, you're just going to keep winning. That's why the favorites smash in the spot. So I think that a team like, if you get Buffalo, who's up like 4.5, and they're -4.5 second half, absolute smash bet on Buffalo. So I'm going to call that my Thanksgiving special double down. I
like it.
Hopefully that works out for us. All right, let's get to your game. I know we got a lot to talk about here. The New York Giants plus 9.5 at the Dallas Cowboys, total set of 45.5. The Giants, rash of injuries, lost to Detroit last week. Dallas, thank God they came through for me. Biggest bet of the year. Absolutely smashed the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know. This feels like the bounce back spot. Maybe you'll tell me no, maybe, because there's so many injuries on the Giants. But you want to bet Daniel Jones as a road dog. This is a perfect spot for that. Dallas could not be thought of any higher in the market. And believe me, I don't think anyone's higher on them than I am right now. I have them in my power rankings as 4th, right behind Buffalo, Kansas City, and San Francisco. Dallas is my number 4 team, ahead of Philadelphia at this point. But the New York Giants plus 9.5. I don't know. I kind of like the under 45.5, and I kind of like Giants plus 9.5. If you want to use Dallas as a teaser, if you can get it from 9-3, okay. But I kind of like the Giants.
This game, I said on the show last week, the past couple of weeks, Dallas was they were winning one of their next 2. I didn't expect them to go into Minnesota and just like absolutely smack them around and make Minnesota look absolutely foolish. Here's the thing with Dallas. They haven't won on Thanksgiving since 2018. That was against Washington. I believe they got beat pretty good. Is there value here on the Giants in a divisional game on Thanksgiving? Maybe. I have a hard time thinking that Dallas is going to let the New York Giants beat them at home, but they don't play well on Thanksgiving, right? I think there's probably value on the New York Giants there. I struggle with the injuries though, because I think that you saw how much that's hurting this team last week. I just don't think, they stayed in that game against Dallas in the beginning of the season. There's a lot of value right now. If you can go look at some of those numbers, I never bet on my own team. I have already placed a bunch of parlays on this game. The numbers are super low in the Giants. You're seeing a lot of this like bias leak into these numbers. So there's a lot. I think I will probably only be playing it from a player prop perspective, but is there value in New York? Absolutely. I also would love for Dallas also to get a piece of humble pie because now they're going to the Super Bowl again. We do this every effing year around this time. It's like the Cowboys win a big game around week 10, week 11, and then everyone decides that they're going to the Super Bowl and then they lose on Thanksgiving. Like I feel like this is on repeat. So I don't know. They call it the OBJ Bowl. I don't think that the Giants are trying to lure him in as hard as the Cowboys are. I don't think it's that serious, but I like the under in this game. I think they should keep it competitive.
Under 45.5, I would probably lean to a plus 9.5. I do have a bet that I made earlier in the week on Monday. Buffalo -2, Dallas -2 is a teaser piece. Obviously, both those lines are completely gone at this point. Yeah. So I think that Dallas and Buffalo, if you want to combine the money lines, -450, -390 as like a whatever Thanksgiving, right? Mm-hmm. It's like if the favorites win, you might as well place it in. But Giants plus 9.5. Maybe I'll wait for 10 based on the movement, but I like the Giants in the spot. One final point on Dallas, and you kind of alluded to it earlier. 1-10 against the spread on Thanksgiving over the last 11 seasons, and 1-11 in their last 12 Thanksgiving games in the first half against the spread. So if you like the Giants, do that first half bet on the Giants. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe you can get a plus 6.5 out there right now. Mm-hmm. Giants plus 6.5 first half. That seems to me to be a massively valuable spot.
I think also one thing that people didn't realize impacted that game, I think, a little bit more. No one's going to recognize this unless they're a Giants fan, but Graham Gano not being healthy and Graham Gano missing every single field goal attempt that he had was massive for that game. So I think that him being healthy alone, you can even keep this game a little bit closer because we've relied on him so much throughout this entire season. But I'm with you. I think there probably is a little bit of value here on the Giants unless you're doing some type of teaser piece, which you probably already missed the window for that.
All right, let's get to the last game. Thursday night football. The New England Patriots +3 at the Minnesota Vikings. Total is set at 42.5. Bill Belichick against the spread on short rest, 29-15-1. However, I do have a special bet for this. First quarter Minnesota Vikings money line. The New England Patriots have only scored 15 points in the first quarter of all games this season. They're the worst team in the NFL at scoring in the first quarter. Take the first quarter under and take the Minnesota Vikings money line first quarter. That's my early bet. What about for the game? What do you like?
Okay. All season, I have tried. I took a deep breath.
I know what that looks like. Okay, I know what that look is. All right, cool.
Okay, I have tried to support these Minnesota Vikings. I have said over and over again, I watch the games. I do not know how they are winning. I think that all of their flaws came very much through during that Dallas game. this is a primetime game. Kirk Cousins, now I'm buying into it. Last 8 primetime games, he's 3-5. 2 of those wins have come from the Bears. That I don't even know if we can. Do we count that? I don't know if we even can count that. He's thrown 10 interceptions over those 8 games. In his primetime appearance against the Eagles, too, what did he throw? 3 of them. What was that, week 2 against Philly? Yeah. Then, how about this one? How about this? So Cousins is 0-2 all time against the Patriots, and he's thrown 3 interceptions between those 2 games, and his teams have never scored more than 10 points against the Patriots. Whoa. This is a disaster. A nice bounce back spot, but again, New England's defense, Kirk has to face another top 5 defense. Can he overcome that in prime time? I don't feel good about that. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you kind of blew my mind on the Kirk Cousins thing against the Patriots. Never scored more than 10 points. That is absolutely wild to me. Minnesota's an interesting spot as a bounce back, right? Because teams that have lost by 35 plus points over the last 10 years, 63% against the spread. If that loss occurred in November or December, they're 67% against the spread. Like you said, great bounce back spot potentially for them. And this Patriots offense is, pardon my French, but absolute dog shit. They are so bad. Mac Jones, I said it before the season, and I don't know how much it came true, but I think that Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia ruined this kid. His confidence is gone. They don't have playmakers. All they can do is run the ball decently well. This Minnesota Vikings defense is not as bad as they were, as they showed last week. Under 42.5 points. I like that spot. I know I'm supposed to bet on the Minnesota Vikings at -3 in this position, but I have a hard time getting around that. I think it's going to be the Patriots. 33% of bets and 56% of the money is on the Patriots at +3 right now. +3 -120 at DraftKings. Maybe it's going to go to 2.5. So if you like the 3, I would go grab it right now before it goes back to 2.5. I don't know. I'm really torn on this one because I see both sides. Yeah. Playing Minnesota right now feels really gross, but usually the gross is where you want to go. So I don't know.
It does feel gross. I think either way, this is going to be one of those games. This line is set perfectly. Someone's going to sneak out a win. I see this being a low-scoring affair. That's kind of been what the Patriots' MO has been all season. You also have seen the Vikings just play up or down outside of last week to their competition. They're not blowing anyone out, where it's either that or they're getting blown out, apparently. Those are their 2 realms now of possibilities. So I don't know that I can't confidently take New England. So I don't know if that number moves and then I feel a little bit more confident, but how do you bet Minnesota after last week? And then Kirk and Prime, I don't know. You have to be one confident motherfucker to do that.
Oh, shit. All right, we're going to close it out with that. Good luck with all your bets on Thanksgiving. Follow us at Champions Round for more information. All of our bets we will put out for Thanksgiving on there. All right, talk to you soon. Good luck.